The blockade had been in place for 18 months, and Earth was dying by degrees. High Admiral Corvan, of the Nexus Coalition, watched the blue marble of humanity's homeworld through the view screen of his flagship Eternal Dominion, satisfaction radiating from his crystalline features. 300 warships formed an impenetrable sphere around the Sol system, their combined firepower sufficient to reduce any fleet to atomic particles within minutes. "Status report," Corvan commanded, his harmonic voice resonating through the bridge like struck crystal. "All hyperspace lanes remain sealed," reported his tactical officer. "No human vessel has broken through the perimeter in 47 days. Their colonies beyond the blockade continue to fall to our occupation forces." It had been the perfect strategy. Rather than engage humanity's surprisingly effective military in direct confrontation, the Coalition had simply cut Earth off from the rest of human space. No reinforcements could reach the homeworld. No supplies could get through. No escape was possible. The humans had tried everything: stealth ships, mass assault, even suicide runs by their most desperate captains. All had failed against the Coalition's superior numbers and technology. Earth's orbital defenses were formidable, but they were trapped, slowly strangling as their off-world colonies fell one by one to Coalition forces. In the depths of NORAD, buried beneath a mountain of Colorado granite, Director Sarah Chen stared at tactical displays that told the same grim story they had shown for over a year. Earth was alone, cut off, dying. "Ma'am," reported Colonel Martinez, his voice carefully controlled, "the latest supply convoy from Proxima Centauri was intercepted 12 hours ago. That's the last of our off-world agricultural shipments." Chen nodded grimly. Earth could feed itself, but barely. The planet had been designed to be the center of a star-spanning civilization, not an isolated fortress. Resources were running low. Morale was lower. What's the status of the civilian evacuation attempts? Complete failure. The Coalition destroys any transport that tries to break the blockade. They're not taking prisoners. Chen closed her eyes, feeling the weight of 8 billion lives pressing down on her shoulders. As director of the Terran Defense Coordination Center, she had access to every military asset Earth possessed. Orbital platforms bristling with railguns, lunar missile batteries that could crack asteroids, the most advanced fighter squadrons in human space. None of it mattered if they couldn't break the blockade. "Ma'am Martinez," continued hesitantly, "the Joint Chiefs are asking about the other option." Chen's eyes opened, focusing on a sealed door at the far end of the command center. Beyond that door lay the most classified project in human history, a weapons system so devastating that its very existence was known to fewer than 20 people on Earth. Project ZEUS. The authorization codes require unanimous consent from all 5 Security Council members, she said quietly. "Ma'am, they're all here." Chen looked around the command center and realized that Martinez was right. The 5 most powerful leaders on Earth, the President of the United Americas, the Premier of the European Federation, the Chancellor of the Pacific Alliance, the Prime Minister of the African Union, and the Director General of the Terran Defense Forces all stood behind her, their faces grim with shared determination. "You understand what you're asking?" Chen said, her voice barely above a whisper. ZEUS isn't just a weapon. It's a paradigm shift. Once we activate it, there's no going back. The galaxy will never see humanity the same way again. President Morrison stepped forward, his aged face set in granite resolve. "Director, they've left us no choice. They want to strangle us slowly, strip away our colonies, reduce us to a single world under their control." His voice hardened. "That's not going to happen." One by one, the 5 leaders placed their biometric scanners against the authorization panel. Red lights shifted to green. Ancient protocols, designed in humanity's early days of space exploration, when they first realized they might not be alone, finally activated. The sealed door slid open with a whisper of pressurized air. Beyond lay a chamber that contained the culmination of 2 centuries of human scientific achievement. Not a single weapon, but a network, thousands of satellites, orbital platforms, and ground-based installations that had been secretly constructed across the Sol system over decades. ZEUS Online announced the artificial intelligence that had been waiting patiently for this moment. Its voice was calm, almost gentle, which somehow made it more terrifying than any martial tone could have been. All systems nominal. Target acquisition complete. Targets? Chen asked, though she already knew the answer. 300 coalition vessels maintaining blockade formation. Estimated time to neutralization, 4 minutes, 17 seconds. High Admiral Corvan was reviewing occupation reports from the outer colonies when his sensor operator's voice cut through the bridge chatter with urgent alarm. Admiral, massive energy surge from the 3rd planet, reading unprecedented power levels across the entire system. Explain. Sir, I'm detecting active targeting locks from everywhere. Orbital platforms, asteroid installations, even the outer planets. It's like the entire solar system just became a weapon. Corvan felt the first stirring of unease. Impossible. We've monitored human military installations for months. They don't have the infrastructure for... His words were cut off as space around the coalition fleet suddenly filled with light. What the humans had called Project ZEUS wasn't a single superweapon. It was the transformation of an entire star system into a coordinated instrument of destruction. Hidden installations throughout Sol fired simultaneously, creating a web of devastation that no fleet could escape. Railgun rounds launched from Jovian platforms struck at significant fractions of light speed. Particle beam arrays, installed in asteroid mines, carved through coalition ships like they were made of mist. Fusion torpedoes launched from disguised satellites created a storm of nuclear fire that turned space itself into a killing field. But the true terror of ZEUS wasn't its conventional weapons. It was the gravitational manipulation technology that humanity had secretly perfected, devices that could create artificial singularities, redirect stellar energy, and even manipulate space-time itself. Admiral Corvan watched in horrified fascination as his flagship's shields failed under an assault that defied every principle of military science he understood. Coalition ships were being pulled into micro-black holes that appeared from nowhere. Others aged rapidly as temporal distortion fields accelerated their local time. Some simply ceased to exist as matter disintegrators unraveled their atomic structure. All ships, he transmitted desperately. Emergency retreat. Break orbit immediately. But there was nowhere to run. ZEUS had been designed with one purpose: to ensure that any force threatening Earth would be completely and utterly annihilated. The weapon system's range extended throughout the Sol system and beyond, creating a kill zone that no conventional fleet could escape. In 4 minutes and 16 seconds, 300 coalition warships were reduced to scattered atoms and cooling plasma. The most powerful military force the Nexus Coalition had ever assembled simply ceased to exist. The message that followed, broadcast on every frequency across the galaxy, was delivered in Director Chen's calm professional voice. This is Earth. For 18 months, you have attempted to strangle our world and enslave our people. You believed we were helpless. You were wrong. The transmission included complete technical specifications of the ZEUS system, tactical recordings of the battle, and a simple declaration that would reshape galactic politics forever. Sol system is now a restricted zone. Any hostile vessel that enters will be destroyed automatically. We tried diplomacy. We tried coexistence. You chose war. Now you understand why that was a mistake. Across the galaxy, the word spread quickly. Humanity had not been trapped on Earth for protection of the galaxy from them. Earth had been protecting the galaxy from what humans could become when cornered. The blockade was over. The stars belonged to humanity once again, and everyone else would have to learn to live with that reality.